I live and work on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past and present and to thank them for looking after the beautiful lands that we get to enjoy every single day. So the key focus for our work stream so far has been looking at technology-facilitated gender-based violence. And essentially what that is gender-based violence that uses technologies to harm other people. So one of the ways that we've been focusing on this is to have one of our amazing research fellows, Dr. Emma Quilty, go and spend 3 months in Fiji, immersing herself in the culture, getting to understand the types of lived experience that victim survivors are having of technology-facilitated gender-based violence, as well as speaking to practitioners, to frontline workers, to people who are actually trying to deal with ways that we can address and resolve some of these challenges. One of the other key focuses for us this year has been working with one of our amazing partners, eSafety, and we've been evaluating their Train the Trainer program, which is actually providing frontline workers across the Indo-Pacific with the skill sets to be able to identify what technology-facilitated violence looks like and how they can better respond to the needs and diverse supports that victim survivors experience and want in those contexts. So this often means that we're seeing them experience both forms of physical gender-based violence as well as coercive controlling behaviours. And it's being able to identify, okay, when is someone's phone being tracked? How is someone being abused via messaging? How is that impacting on their children? How is that impacting on their employment? How is that impacting on their general lives? And what kind of supports can we provide to help them get through these experiences and be able to get the supports and help they need? So some of the ways that we're incorporating the 3 I's beyond our focus on the Indo-Pacific is to actually be working and learning from partners who are based on the ground in the areas that we are focused on. So we're working with our partners from USP, the University of South Pacific in Fiji, and getting an understanding of the different experiences, about the different approaches and methodologies that are common within their research. So we've been adopting Talanoa, which is a methodology which is similar to an informal yarning circle where we can engage with people and just share stories. So we're not guided by research questions necessarily, we're not guided by a set interview, we're able to just say, this is what we're interested in, what do you feel comfortable sharing? And sitting down on the ground, engaging in those conversations. We've also been adopting Indigenous approaches through some of the amazing research and ethics training programs that we've been doing, and we've been taking that on board with our PhD students who are integrating Indigenous methodologies in the work that they're doing. And we've also been really key around attributing our work to the cultures and communities that are on the ground that we are hoping to engage with and support, talking to them first about what they need, as opposed to us coming in and saying, this is what we think can help. So one of the most exciting partnerships that we've had so far is with some of our colleagues at USP. So we initially found out that they were doing some incredible research on cyberbullying in the university context. And we thought this really connects with the areas that we're interested in technology-facilitated gender-based violence and understanding young people's experiences of this. Our projects to date have mainly focused on the more adult experience, and we wanted to look at what was happening for younger people. So we were able to connect with a couple of researchers there who were able to share their insights and experience, and we're now working on a collaborative project exploring technology-facilitated gender-based violence among university students in the Fijian context. We've been able to do focus groups and a series of different interviews to understand both the victim-survivor experience, the perpetrator experience, but also that bystander experience. So where people are observing the types of behaviours that might be happening and what they might need to be able to support people or to intervene when they witness behaviour that just doesn't feel a bit right, but they're not quite sure what they can do. And that's been an incredible opportunity that we would not have had if we didn't connect with our partners on the ground. I think our other partnership that's been really exciting for us is working with eSafety, and that's involved doing their Train the Trainer workshop, but we've been able to really connect with them to help us through recruitment, through understanding what they're trying to achieve in helping eliminate gender-based violence through technologies, but also be able to connect with them and have real impact with the work that we're doing. So not just committing to academic journals and reports, but we're actually able to shape the practice of the training that frontline workers are doing across the Indo-Pacific. So I think the research that we're most excited about for the next 12 months is that we're running a perpetration survey across 4 countries in the Indo-Pacific. And the idea there is that we're actually targeting adult males who are engaging in technology-facilitated gender-based violence against women or women-identifying people. What's really exciting about this is we're not just focusing on the behaviours of what they're engaging in, we're actually looking at the motivations and the factors that might be driving or contributing to these behaviours. So we're looking at issues around their relationship status with the person that they're engaging in these behaviours with. We're looking at their childhood experiences, we're looking at their alcohol and drug use, we're looking at other forms of violence, so whether we're seeing people who are engaging in other forms of physical violence also engaging in forms of technology-facilitated violence. We're also looking to understand if people who are engaging in tech-facilitated violence are more likely to think that they won't be caught or that it's more anonymous when they're engaging in these behaviours. And what that's going to do is be able to inform prevention and responses. So once we have that information to better understand why and how people are engaging in these behaviours, we'll be able to implement ideas that can help inform that evidence-based policy and change, and hopefully contribute to the change of social norms around these attitudes. I think for me, the biggest change that I want to see from CEVAW is long-lasting ways that we can start to shift social norms that accept or don't challenge or condone violence against women and gender-based violence. So if we can create an evidence base and a platform that gives people the knowledge to understand why making jokes about someone because of their sex or gender or identity is wrong, if we can create a space where people understand that if that behaviour doesn't feel right, it's okay to say something or to ask someone if they're okay, if we can create that environment where we're challenging behaviours that just don't feel right, then I think that's something that we can really be proud of in CEVAW. Having the evidence base to be able to do this is what's going to be the real driving factor for us in shaping violence against women responses across the Indo-Pacific, and also embracing the new generation of researchers who are going to take what we're doing and run with it and take it to other countries, to other contexts, other cultures, and be able to look at what they can do to improve this and to really drive the elimination of gender-based violence. So what really motivates me in the work that I do is seeing some kind of change from the research. When I first got involved in looking at technology-facilitated gender-based violence, it was before we had any laws addressing image-based abuse, so that's the non-consensual sharing, taking or threatening to share of nude or intimate images of another person. And we had no laws around that. So we had victim survivors who were experiencing this form of harm and this form of gender-based violence, and they weren't having any outlet. They couldn't go to the police, they couldn't seek supports, they weren't being able to go to frontline workers. And what we did was start to investigate that problem and understand why it was happening, look at what people were experiencing, and we were able to create an evidence base to change the laws to be able to recognise this as a form of gender-based violence, as a form of domestic and family violence, and as a harm that needed to be addressed and that society needed to condemn because the behaviours were wrong. And so we were able to create this space, and that's one of the driving motivations for me, is that to continue that, because there is gender-based violence, because we are seeing a rise in misogynistic attitudes, in white supremacy views, in ideologies that are challenging who we want to be as a society. So to be able to do something that can impact on that and maybe shape even a handful of views, that's what drives me in this